Iman Foroutan is the chairman of the New Iran. He is a familiar face with the media line, and it's probably the moment you've been waiting for all these years to see that Israel has gone in and it has attacked within Iran with a goal to take out all the nuclear enrichment facilities. Welcome to the media line. Iman, as you're witnessing what's happening today, do you feel that this is the moment that's going to reshape what's happening in Iran?
Hi, Phyllis. Thank you very much for having me as your guest today. It's been a long time since we first met. I forget when it was 20 years ago in New York City when we were talking to our resistance cells inside Iran. Yes, it's been a long time coming. I've been at this for at least 25 years. I have so many colleagues who have been at it for close to 45 years. Obviously, would have hoped that there's no military attack. However, the way it's being done by Israel, which is very targeted, the way we have seen it's happening, and after all the chances that the mullahs and ayatollahs had, whether it was previous administrations or right now with Trump, they just did a huge miscalculation this time around. As far as the people in Iran, they're the happiest that can be. Yes, they know that there may be damages. They do understand that in any war there could be casualties, but there had been years that myself and others who have been in touch with people inside Iran, they've been praying and hoping for a day like this, that a government like Israel, who is a friend of the Iranian people, and Mr. Netanyahu, who did host, for example, Prince Reza Pahlavi a couple of years ago inside Israel, they're very happy that Israel have come to their help at this particular and very important time in the country's history.
You wrote an op-ed, which is on the Media Line website, calling for Bibi Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, to make sure that there's a regime change. Please explain what you're thinking, and is that possible?
Yes, it is definitely possible. And what we wrote, or what I wrote on behalf of the New Iran, which is not the first time, we'd written a similar open letter, I think last year or so, is that this regime, if it's not ended properly, they will probably take their time. They start killing people again and jailing them and everything else. So right now it seems to be the best time because the vast majority of the Iranian people, both inside and outside, they do have a leader in Prince Reza Pahlavi, who for the last 45 years has been talking about civil disobedience. Right now, he's asking again for strikes and massive strikes. Tomorrow, which is Sunday in the United States, about I think 10 a.m., which will be about 9 p.m. in Iran. There's a huge call for people actually chanting from rooftops and whatever against the regime. Everything that we can see inside the cities, we have videos and we have messages. People are scared, but they're happy. They're dancing, even in the middle of the traffic, inside tunnels where they cannot go anywhere with their cars. They're getting out of the car. They're happy. They've been waiting for this for so many years, after so many killings and brutalities that this regime has brought about. Finally, people of Iran, I think they can see the end of the tunnel, at the end of the tunnel.
I think it would be important to try to reach out to some of these people. It is where you and I did meet over 20 years ago. Nothing seems to have changed much all these years in terms of the fact that everyone has been fighting for their freedom. Could we try to go and see if we can speak to some of those voices in Iran at the moment?
Uh, I did try, Phyllis, as we had talked, and unfortunately, every time that things like this happen inside Iran, the first thing that they do is they cut off the internet. So even though I was able to have a meeting this morning with a few of our people inside Iran from different parts of the country who could verify exactly what we hear in the news and even give us some more detailed information before the outside world's news outlets print those. I was able to have a video call with them. I was able to chat with a few of them like about 6 hours ago. but as of 3, 4 hours ago, it's all dead. They have no internet, they cannot connect to VPN, and everybody, definitely us, we're all hoping and waiting to see what will happen with Starlink because we know Elon Musk said it's been turned on. I personally know that, well, even on the Elon Musk map on Starlink, there seem to be, they say there's about 100,000 Starlink modules inside Iran. The question is, who bought them? Was it really the people who were, part of the regime or regular people? There are videos that helping people, those who do have internet, how to create a local VPN so their neighbors can use it. We're actually working very hard to come up with those training videos or translating or find them. So right now it's very chaotic. We don't know what's going to happen next, but what is for sure is that Israel and Mr. Netanyahu, they were not joking. It's obvious they've been planning this for many, many years, and the way they have executed so far with precision, without hardly any casualties inside Iran, I mean regular people casualties, it's just unbelievable. I think everybody is in awe, same as how everybody was surprised and shocked and in awe when the pager uh, actions happened against the Hezbollah and the radio actions about, I mean, Hamas and Hezbollah and so on. So we'll see.
Iman, can we talk a moment about what you're hearing on the ground? You're speaking to people on a regular basis. Go back to what happened just in the last 24 hours and the infrastructure that Israel has attacked.
Let me bring up a document which came a few hours ago. And this, when I received this a few hours ago, the person who wrote it, he said this has happened like 2 hours prior. So potentially this is about 8 hours or 10 hours. But uh, ستاد وزارت دفاع در میدان نوبنیاد. So this is actually the equivalent to Pentagon in Iran. So the defense building or organization that was apparently attacked. Also, in north of Tehran, there's a Sanaye Defa. It's all seems like there's a center for having uh, basically for defense manufacturing. That was also hit. It seems like there was it's called Padagan Jihad, which is basically jihadist military center, if you would. It's in the 22nd segment inside Tehran. Tehran has different parts. This was number 22. That was also hit. We know that the refinery in Tehran was hit, which is the storage for gasoline, and it's called Anbar Naft Haji, I think, or Hojaji. That was also hit in Tehran. Also, there's a place that they were holding a lot of oil and gasoline north of Tehran. That was also hit. The reservoir of oil in Shahr Rey, which is a town close to Tehran, that was also hit. There was another reservoir of oil and gasoline in a place called Shahran. I personally haven't been in Iran, as you know, for over 45 years, so a lot of these names are new to me. That was also hit. Apparently, two or more pharmaceutical centers were hit near Karaj, which is another city close to Tehran. I'm not sure what they were building IRGC in these centers that they were also hit. There was a atomic laser center in Karaj that was also hit. And finally, there's an office for the Sepah for IRGC in one area which I can't even pronounce it. I think Savage Balak. So that's another area. And unfortunately, another regular home, residential home in the area of Dasht of Tehran. Well, not unfortunately, but that was hit. Sorry. The unfortunate was another thing I'll tell you about. Let me just talk about the unfortunate one. The Islamic Republic, I guess, fired a missile, but then it actually went sideways and killed or hit in Narmak inside around Tehran.
Excuse me, was that
Yeah.
one of Iran's missiles that hit their own?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. There was Mossad, exactly. That's what happened. So two things is interesting. I shouldn't say funny. One is a missile by Iran. They fired it, but something went wrong. It went sideways and it hit people close by, Iranian people. Secondly, was yesterday, after the first Iranian missile hit the residential area of Israel, one of the generals came on TV, or the news actually says that he came and said it was not us hitting the residential in Iran, but it was the signals and that the Israeli government actually were attacking our missiles. So that caused our missile to go sideways. So that was their excuse that they didn't mean to, but it actually happened because of Israeli signals. One last thing that I had in my list was a residential location in Dehdasht of Tehran, which apparently the news says that Mossad commandos actually hit that using a Nissan, one of these trucks or whatever. So I'm not sure who lived in there, but potentially somebody important was living there, and that was also hit by Mossad.
I think we should take a moment, and that point is extremely poignant. The fact that Mossad is operating on the ground in Iran, and the fact that they were able to initiate and really help to ignite what we're seeing over the last couple of days. We're only talking about 48 hours at the moment. So, Iman, what do you think is going on in the minds of the Ayatollah Khomeini at the moment?
They are scared and they don't know what to do. And uh, like I said, they since seriously miscalculated. They thought that they're going to have another meeting in Oman tomorrow and sixth round and do this. They had no idea that Mr. President Trump, he gave him 60 days. On day 61, I guess, let Mr. Netanyahu do what he wants to do. But you may have seen the reports. When you look at the uh, from the satellites, you look at Iran, where all the planes, passenger planes or other planes, fly. The whole entire Iran airspace there's nothing in it. All the planes are around, but at least two, three, four different planes, which seem to be passenger planes, not military planes that they wanted to hide. They have been leaving Iran. They've been going east. A lot of people think they're actually going to Syria, I mean to Russia, probably to go and say hello to Mr. Assad of Syria, who left some time ago. So uh, obviously, I do not have first-hand knowledge of how they feel, but I can only imagine that their first layer of their generals got killed, and then as soon as they appointed somebody else, so other ones, a few of those got killed. I also heard from, I forget which news outlet was it, that apparently the secondary and thirdly leadership, they have received text messages from Israel themselves and their wives and their family that we know where you live, we know where you are, don't take the job if you want to stay alive. So Israel, it's certainly making sure that there's a psychological warfare. Yesterday, I read the news that Israel actually told the employees of the Islamic Republic's radio and television not to go to work on Saturday or Sunday. I have a feeling it may get hit today or tomorrow. You may know that, but there's a huge uh, weapon storage under the national TV inside Tehran. This I've known for a long time. Many people know that from inside Iran. At some point, even I'd seen some photos. There's tunnels. There's all kind of weaponry underground under that. So that may be why they want to hit that building. Or and by that, if they do that, actually, then communications will be very tough. But that may be one of the things they need to do, because if that goes away, the frequencies and the signals from the national TV goes away, then potentially from outside Israel, US, possibly Prince Reza Pahlavi, they can actually start communicating and sending signals inside Iran. But everything is unknown, and we're all just watching this happen by the hour.
It's real time unveiling in front of the world's eyes. And Iman,
Yes.
looking at it from the lens of those that are still in leadership in Iran, they have proxies. Weakened or not, they have proxies around the region. They have friends around the world. What is the worst case scenario?
Hopefully, worst case scenario will not be as bad as it could have been like 4 or 5 days ago before Israel started. Because as you can see, and as we've known for the last few hours, it seems like Israel has full control of Iran's airspace. They have taken out all the anti-aircraft guns or whatever that Iran had, and a lot of they've taken most of their they took a lot of from last time when a few months ago when Iran attacked Israel. So at this point, what is left, and there is no as much as Hezbollah or Houthis or Hamas or Syria, so that area seems to be under control of Israel, or the attacks from that side will not be as bad. However, Iran may have a lot of cells outside Iran, in Europe, in the United States, even in Israel and whatever. So who knows? They're crazy people, everybody. Who knows who's going to go in one street and do Allahu Akbar or whatever, and detonate a bomb, or, they kill
Mhm.
themselves, as suicide bombers. So these cells have been doing crazy things the last few years, different places. So that's the only thing I can think of that potentially could happen. But again, there's, I'm sure, so much that I do not know, and hopefully nothing really bad will happen.
There was concern about the U.S. fleets that are in operation still within the Middle East and any of them being attacked. As you know, President Trump has been very forward in addressing that issue and basically saying, "Don't mess with the United States. You're going to see something you've never seen before if you do." Do you see the United States getting involved?
Well, there's two potential possibilities. One is I heard that Mr. Netanyahu and Israel are asking directly, they're directly asking the United States to get involved and help them with those bunker buster bombs for Fordo, uh, uh, where they actually enrich uranium. Apparently, they took out Natanz, but for those deep underground, and they need those big bombs. We know there's six B-2 bombers, Dio Garcia, they're ready. Whether or not the United States does that, we'll have to find out. Because as we know, this is a big chess thing that they're playing. There's Russia that has a lot of benefits inside Iran. China went to Security Council yesterday. Uh, but the fishery in south of Iran, a lot of the mines that we've had over the years, the north of Iran, the Caspian Sea was given to Russia, the fishery to China. So a lot of these countries, especially China and Russia, have a lot of interest inside Iran with the Islamic Republic. However, it seems like the Europeans have turned, because now they're actually pushing for snapback, Germany and France and UK. So US has to have all these calculations to see if it's really, if it should or not to go attack. But certainly, the United States will defend. I heard that even today they started defending beyond just providing intelligence to Israel, because there's Saudi Arabia, there's all those countries by Persian Gulf, and obviously they do count on the United States to support them. So I think chances are, without Russia and China, which probably do not want to get involved directly.
There is still a small Jewish community in Iran with thousands of people living there. I can't quite imagine what's going through their minds today as well. There's got to be a lot of fear. Have you heard anything?
No, I have not. I do have quite a few Jewish friends that we work together. I have not yet heard anything from them, but I do agree with you, because being Jewish inside Iran at this time when Israel is attacking cannot be a safe thing for them.
Let's go back to best case scenario, worst case scenario, Iman. Best case scenario is
Best case scenario, in my opinion, is that people of Iran who have been waiting this long, and the opposition, they will listen to the only trusted person that we have, which is Prince Reza Pahlavi. Not for him necessarily to become the next king, because he has said many times his responsibility ends when Iran is free. After that is people of Iran who, through free elections, they'll decide if they want a parliamentary monarchy, a system, or a republican system, whatever. That's later. So he has been steadfastly only talking about strikes, nonviolent disobedience, and again, just as of a couple of days ago, I mean, this morning, his office is talking about chanting, getting in the streets, and really striking because that's what we think is going to actually paralyze the system and government now that Israel has actually taken out a lot of their nuclear facilities. So from the point of view of Israel and United States, I think they're kind of achieved that. This Israel probably mostly achieved their main goal of making sure Islamic Republic does not have a nuclear enrichment and others. There's still that big Fordo location they have to take care of. And from what I've heard, and we've known this for some time through leaks or whatever, that this will be at least 7 days campaign. People have said it will go up to 14 days, and we're only on day 3. So we got another 5, 6, 7, 10 days of nonstop, basically making sure that the Islamic Republic cannot do anything militarily. And that by itself, I think, will make sure that either Ayatollah Khamenei will leave the country, like, before he gets killed, and then without bloodshed, only through strikes, then people can slowly get to their life. It will still be it will be very difficult first few months, obviously, after the regime change. There will be cells inside. Who knows if ISIS is going to come in or the Taliban. There's all these different stuff that can happen. We also hear the on the northwestern of Iran, there are some Kurds. They may want to take advantage of this to actually divide part of Iran. So all these different things are happening, but I believe that people in Iran are strong. We do have a leadership. We do have a strong people inside Iran, and this is the time. So I would say this would be best case. If everything goes well, I think within 2 or 3 months, this regime is going to go, even though it could be really fast. It only took 14 days before Assad had to leave Syria. Worst case scenario, I think, is that perhaps maybe what happened with Saddam Hussein, President Bush, history will judge. I don't know, correctly or wrongly, did not go all the way through to overthrow Saddam Hussein. Saddam then had time for some time to start killing all the people who he thought were against him. And we don't want that to happen inside Iran. Just because that Iran or Islamic Republic does not have any nuclear capabilities anymore, which is good for Israel and United States. And that's why I wrote that article, is that we really hope that both from the Israel side and United States and Elon Musk and internet and everything else allows people inside Iran to communicate, to be able to follow the path. Otherwise, we may have another massacre inside Iran if there is not proper forces and planning to protect people of Iran who are not armed. Most people inside Iran, they're not armed. You've seen the images of all these young people who've been killed over the years, last year and so on, especially after Masa Amini a couple of years ago. So worst case scenario, I think, will be that with regards to humanitarian issues. Obviously, other things can happen, which I hope it won't, like the territorial integrity of Iran. But I don't think that's going to happen. People of Iran will not allow that.
You have been working for years on a special project called SOS Iran. You finally launched it. Can you share what SOS Iran is?
Absolutely. I personally have been voluntarily working for over 20 some years. I have not been in Iran for over 47 years. 6 months before Khomeini's revolution, I was a student in UC Irvine in the United States. I went for a summer vacation, and then we had strikes inside Iran to overthrow the last regime. I came to the US in 1978 in September. I haven't been back since. For the first 20 years, I was outside Iran. I had no idea what's going on inside Iran, all the misery people had. It was only 20 years ago, 25 years ago, after the satellite TVs came around and we could actually hear from inside Iran. That's when I found out that, the misery and everything else. So for the last 25 years, I've been working tirelessly, almost 6, 7 hours a day, 5, 6 days a week. And over these years, tried to build a lot of organizations, founded the New Iran, prior to that, bunch of other stuff. But what I did realize, especially after Mahsa Amini, what Mahsa Amini's murder did to the opposition was it woke up a lot of Iranians who prior to that really didn't want to get involved into politics. They would pay money to go to humanitarian stuff, to the culture events, but nobody wanted to get involved in politics against the IRI. Since 2 years ago, the number of organizations, whether it's a five-person organization or 500, 200, has exploded outside Iran. And having all those organizations and everybody working uh, in their own circle, not knowing who else is doing what in the opposition, I realized that's a huge problem we had. And then the solution for that, unlike what I'd personally done for the last 25 years, I decided it was not to create another organization and try to bring everybody under that organization, which has never happened, and I think it's going to be very difficult. So SOS Iran is the first ever project-based ecosystem, which actually addresses a lot of issues that I personally had seen and faced in the last 25 years. But now when people go to SOS Iran, every person has a SOS number. My number is SOS 3390. People from inside who come in, everybody has a SOS number without any private information that they can be followed and whatever. So people come around their own projects, they submit a project, they can ask for help, they can fund small projects. So rather than asking for millions of dollars, for big thing, all these projects work together, people collaborate, and we're putting an organization together. And this is still, I think it's very timely. I started this about 3 years ago. So I took the best knowledge that I had over 25 years of experience, put it into this, and I think it's timely. Who knows? Maybe the revolution will end sooner and freedom comes before everybody comes to SOS Iran. But hey, there's SOS North Korea, SOS Cuba, SOS Venezuela. So the way I've designed the system, I think can be useful for a lot of dictatorial countries where there is diaspora outside and they actually want to come together. So hopefully this will not only help Iran, freedom of Iran, but also for other countries in future.
Over the years, we have been together and spoken to people on the ground just so the audience understands what has transpired all these years. And it's a very significant moment that we are witnessing. Thank you, Iman Foroutan, Chairman of the New Iran, for joining me here at the Media Line.
Thank you so much for all your efforts. Thank you so much for covering the news that we've had. Again, it's not 1 or 2 years, it's over 20 years. And thank you again, Phyllis, and thank you for the hard work that you and your team are doing in Media Line.
Thank you.